Richie Rich Show.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Richie Rich, back on the ones and twos. Talk some quick life shit real quick. I'm about to upload a video of a truck driver snapping out and pretty much throwing his life away. Now listen, I understand sometimes out here you want to snap out and lose your cool, lose your temper. But at the end of the day, we live in a country that don't forgive. You do something crazy, you're gonna pay for it. So anyway, I want you to check out this clip, and I got some thoughts about it. Read some comments from different websites, and I'm gonna let you know how I feel about it. But check it out, we'll be right back. Peace.
Some breaking news out of Brenham. One person is dead and several others are injured after an 18-wheeler crashed into a DPS building in Brenham.
Now, one person is in custody that investigators have taken into custody. He is facing multiple charges. It happened just after 10:30 this morning off Highway 290, and that's where we find Fox 26's Jade Fleury with the latest.
Yeah, you guys, behind me, you can see the extensive damage from that 18-wheeler plowing into the Department of Public Safety building. Montgomery County Judge Mark Keough saying the incident was intentionally done by a suspect who was denied his CDL license just yesterday.
Turn to DPS, is crashing the DPS.
Those words coming moments after a man intentionally slammed an 18-wheeler into the Texas Department of Public Safety building in Brenham.
The suspect was backing the vehicle up and with the intent of going into it again.
A gaping hole, bent railing, and debris from the crash spewed in front of the Public Service office.
What we've seen today was an act of violence.
Friday morning, the 18-wheeler was reported stolen. Deputies chased the suspect down Highway 290 before tragedy struck.
The stolen 18-wheeler took a hard right turn and went into the DPS Brenham office.
Officials say 14 people were inside the building's waiting area at the time. 3 of them flown to the hospital in critical condition.
Unfortunately, one person has succumbed to their injuries and died at the hospital.
The driver of the stolen big rig, 42-year-old Clenard Parker of Chapel Hill. Officials say the day before, Parker went to the DPS Brenham office where he was denied his commercial driver's license.
We will prosecute this person to the full extent of the law because this will not be tolerated. Not in my hometown and not in our home state.
Now we do have Sky Fox showing you guys some aerials of the incident. The Texas Department of Public Safety says that the Texas Rangers are currently investigating the incident. Now Parker was taken into custody at the Washington County Sheriff's Office. He is facing multiple charges. Reporting from Brenham, Jade Fleury, Fox 26 News.
Hey, what's up, y'all? We back again. The video uploaded was a Texas man who drove his truck into the DMV down there. He snapped out. He had lost his cool, man. His CDL was rejected the day before. There's only a couple of reasons why your CDL could be rejected. One could be child support. The other can be medical. I was watching Trucker Todd's video. I used to follow him, and one of my subscribers on my video said, hey, you should check out Trucker Todd's video because he had a stroke and he had to give up his CDL for a year. I'm gonna tell you something, y'all. If you have a stroke out here and you don't inform the DMV, your driver license agency in your state, and you get into any kind of fender bender, it can be something small or big, you're gonna go to jail. The law says you gotta surrender your license medically. It sucks, right? This guy down in Texas, I don't know why he couldn't get his CDL. I'm guessing child support or a medical issue. Only reason I've seen somebody snap like that is for child support. When I used to serve child support warrants back in the day, cats used to flip out, and it's hard, man. I've been on both sides of the ball, and I'm not going to talk bad about the man. Some of the comments were very insensitive, and I understand he killed somebody when he drove his truck into the DMV center, and 14 innocent people got injured and one person died. Listen, I understand that was wrong. But since I'm on the other side of the ball now, and I don't see black and white no more, I wonder if this situation could have been helped. You know, it would have to suck, right? That first of all, you're a truck driver. You're struggling out here to make a check. You're treated pretty poorly by the public. Then you go into a driver license center and they tell you you can't be treated like dog shit no more. You got to find another way. See, a lot of people don't have a plan B or C. Their class A is the only plan they got. And I'm telling you right now, a lot of guys out here use trucking as a way not to be homeless. And you have to have some compassion for that. You know, I mean, shit, what would you do? You know, what would you do if the state said, hey, you can no longer work? You know, even though having a driver license is a privilege, I think that it should be changed to a right, because it affects people's ability to work. Not just in trucking, but general in life. A lot of times you need a driver license to go to work. I remember when I used to serve child support warrants, right? I hated doing that work. And a lot of you guys are like, Richie, well, you should throw people in jail who don't take care of their kids. Well, there's people who out here, you know, have limited resources. And a lot of that jail shit, that courtroom shit, is predatory. And you know, as I'm older now and I reflect on it, I was just contributing to a repeating cycle for a lot of people. You know, a lot of poor people, a lot of disenfranchised people. You know, listen, you know, if you make $200,000 a year and they take $30,000 for child support, that's not going to hurt you. But if you only make $30,000 a year and they're taking $10,000 for child support or more, that's going to devastate you. And of course you're going to fall behind. I had a student one time at Stevens. I'll tell you this quick story. I got a lot of them, right? But I had a student at Stevens, and he got on my truck. He was from Texas. And we were talking, and finally one day he said, yeah, man, so I'm kind of on the run from child support. And I asked him, well, what do you mean? He's like, I owe him like $6,000. He said, man, I went down there to child support and I called them and let them know that I didn't have a job, and they didn't stop the child support. They kept building and building. And see, in Texas, it's like a felony, or like you get locked up for that shit. So he said, when Stevens called me and hired me on, I tried to, you know, give him what I could when I was getting paid, but I'm behind. And he says, I think they're going to suspend my license. And he said, man, I'm trying to make as much money as I can pay these arrears. And not even like a week and a half later, safety called me. And they told me to drop him off at the nearest Greyhound. That license was suspended. And man, the look on dude's face, yo, I felt so bad for him, man. I mean, he seemed like a real good kid, but he was caught up in a system, man, that keeps you down and keeps their foot on your neck. So he was like, Rich, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do, man. And it puts people in desperate situations. Now that's just child support aspect of it. The medical aspect of it is like, you know, getting your license rejected for medical reasons sucks, because in hindsight, when I'm out on the road, like you saw in my last video, that dude apparently had a stroke, but he was still working, you know. There's guys out here are double amputees still working. I don't know how they finagle the system, you know. But when somebody tells you, say, yo, you can no longer work a job, you know, you got, what's the alternative? Like right now, right? If trucking would have came to a complete stop, say that they had a AI revolution and the cameras out in your truck can now drive your truck and they don't need you. And trust me, they will fire us in a heartbeat if that actually happened. And you are suddenly out of a job right now. Okay? Do you guys remember what life was like prior to getting your CDL? Do you remember how hard it was to get a job? Seriously, just any job that paid anything? You know? Do you guys remember going to applying all these jobs and hopefully they call you back? You know, one reason why we got a CDL is so we can stay employed to work. So imagine kind of going back to that. One, a job that doesn't pay enough. And secondly, one that barely want to hire you. Okay? So this brings me to my thing. You know, I'm not saying that he was right or wrong. I'm going to say that society doesn't allow you to have bad days. They just don't. You can have a bad day, take it out on somebody, or just snap, find yourself in prison for the rest of your life. You know, we live in a very unforgiving society, in a very callous society at that. You know, people cheer when you lose things. You know, a couple of weeks ago when I posted a video about, you know, my service getting canceled, or, you know, things I was going through with Prime, some guys were quick to say, hey, you still drive that Mercedes? You know, I don't know why in this country we cheer for the downfall. Why we have people who are excited about people losing houses and losing jobs. Why we cheer when people get fired. We should be concerned when somebody loses the ability to provide for themselves. Okay? Like, I never understood, and even though I responded, especially in Washington, D.C., to a lot of workplace violence incidents, now that I'm older and I've experienced some things in my life, I understand why people snap out. I understand why people lose their cool and go on rampages. I'm not saying it's right, okay? But it's a scary situation faced with the possibility of going homeless, going hungry, and living on the street. And in this country, workers don't really have a lot of rights. They don't, you know, they're not treated well. So, what's going on here? I thought a truck driver released his brakes and kept rolling. So anyway, you know, I'm sorry for all the people involved. You know, I'm sorry for the person who died. And I feel a little compassion for this truck driver because he's about to spend the rest of his life in prison. You know, he stole a semi that was left idling. You know, I stopped doing that. I used to do that, leave my truck idle, or I run inside the truck stop. I don't know why guys do that. I remember an old school truck driver telling me, yeah, man, I turn my truck on Monday and I don't turn it off till Sunday, next Sunday. I'm like, wow. But that's how they used to do it, you know. That is how they used to do it. But that leads you to be victim of somebody stealing. And now these trucks are automatic, so the average person can just hop in and put it in drive and go. You know, it don't take much. But tell me what you guys think about that video, man. The comments were like, because, you know, the Trucker My Show made a video about it. A couple other trucker driver videos came out about it. And the comments were like, he don't deserve a CDL. It's good, this and that. I mean, they were like just real negative. And I'm not saying what he did was right. You know, it was wrong. You know, you don't take your frustration and anger out on innocent people. But I can understand being on the other side of this ball. You know, I used to be very black and white in my life, you know. And what I mean by that is, if you broke the law, you were held to the letter of the law. Now, I'm at the age where I operate clearly in the gray. And I start seeing things for what they really are. You know, I start seeing how, you know, the poor man or the working man is stepped on in this country. How people are exploited and abused and used. You know, you can work as a truck driver 7 days a week, 10 hours a day for decades and still come out with nothing. Okay? Still come out with nothing. Because the pay is low, the hours are long, and it's very, very demanding. You know, I want to snap out the other day, and I got to remind myself to keep my bearings, because your boy Richie Rich been under some stress. You know what I mean? But I understand the consequences. For those who've never been inside of a prison or been to jail, it's not a place you want to be. Okay? It's just not. You know, even though being in a truck sometimes feel like you're in the prison, it really ain't, because at any moment I can really walk away from this. And so that's the choice you don't have when you're in prison. You know, any moment I can just leave the truck on the side of the highway, catch a fucking plane or taxi or Uber out of here and never look back again. Okay? Unfortunately, when you go to prison, especially for murder, you can't do that. Okay? So, you know, I'll tell you guys, I tell myself every day, don't let them get to you. Don't let them get to you. You know, don't let them win. Walking away from situations, especially out here as a truck driver, is so important, because you are tested daily with bullshit. So anyway, y'all, peace and love. And one of my last comments on my video, guy was saying that he was about to shoot somebody yesterday because they were blowing the horn on each other, and he said he almost lost his cool. Bro, listen, 2 seconds will cost you a lifetime of pain, man. You know, it's nothing like being locked up, thrown away 1,000 miles from where your family is. You know, there's people in this country who made mistakes and got locked up, and they're thousands of miles away from their family, never to be seen again. You know? So, you know, just, bro, it ain't worth it. It ain't. So, peace and love. Y'all take it easy.